Kate, what are you doing awake at this hour? Where are you? I'm on a spa getaway with Luna. Oh, I see now. I learned the truth when my husband deceived me. I'm Kate, a 30-year-old office worker. I've been married to my husband, Daniel, for 6 years, and we share a 6-year-old daughter named Luna. We tied the knot while I was expecting. Luna is turning into a delightful child. Mom, I can help you. Really? Can you shape the hamburger patties like this? Yes, I can do that. Perfect. Oh, Luna, you're really great at this. Here's one for Dad and one for me. This big one is for Daddy since he had a rough day at work. He might be so happy that he'll cry. As I was enjoying cooking with my daughter, my husband stepped out of the bathroom. Luna rushed to him and exclaimed, "I made your hamburger, Daddy." He looked pleased and replied, "Really? I can't wait to eat it." We were savoring our time as a happy family, or so I believed. Both my husband and I have jobs, but he has a shorter commute and less overtime than I do. Because of this, I frequently ask him to pick up our daughter from kindergarten. Lately, though, he's been coming home late from work, which means I've had to handle the pickup and bring her home myself. On our way home one day, my daughter sadly remarked, "I wonder if Daddy doesn't love me anymore." I think she misses him since he used to pick her up, but now he comes home so late that sometimes he doesn't even see her. I gently stroked her head, even though it hurt to see her upset. "Daddy is working very hard for you right now. Once things settle down, he'll be able to spend more time with you." "Really?" "Yes, so let's support him together with Mommy." "Okay, I'll watch for him." She's such a sweet girl. I can't wait for the day when we can all eat together as a family again. However, months passed, and my husband continued to work late. He used to arrive home by the last train, but now he was coming in at 3 a.m., or even taking the first train in the morning. "Are you sure it's all work? If you're just out drinking, I wish you'd come home and spend time with Luna." I couldn't hold back any longer and expressed my feelings to my husband. My daughter had been missing her dad for a month and looked genuinely sad. My husband didn't appreciate my words and got defensive. "Huh? What's with the attitude? I attend work functions for the family's benefit. It's unfair for you to accuse me like that." "Okay, I apologize, but you need to realize that Luna feels lonely because she doesn't get to see you." After saying this, he fell silent and went straight to the bedroom. Since that moment, there's been an awkward tension between us. Shortly afterward, my company informed me about a required business trip. There were many things I needed to verify in person, and I might have to stay 1 or even 2 nights. My main concern was figuring out what to do with my daughter. My parents lived too far away to assist. I would have to reach out to my husband, but given his busy schedule, I wasn't sure if I could depend on him. Still, I had no other option, so I waited for him to return home. I wondered if he had been out drinking again, and sure enough, he arrived home late. It was well past midnight when I heard the door click open around 3 a.m. "Welcome back, Kate. I didn't realize you were still awake." My husband looked surprised to see me waiting. I had stayed up because I needed to discuss something important. "Huh? Discuss?" He came home intoxicated, his face flushed, while mine was pale as he sat at the dining table and fixed his gaze on me. "So, what do you want to discuss?" "It's nothing major," but he seemed unusually irritable. I told him about my impending business trip, which was short notice, but I had to leave in 2 weeks on Friday. I would need to stay at least 1 night and possibly 2 if there was a lot to accomplish. I couldn't help but notice how odd he was acting. "Can you look after Luna while I'm away? I understand you're busy with work," I asked, feeling remorseful. My husband looked relieved. "Oh, that's completely fine." "Really?" "Yeah. Are you managing okay at work?" "Of course, I'm busy, but I need to prioritize you and Luna. How about I take a day off and treat Luna to an overnight hot spring trip? I haven't had the opportunity to spend time with her recently. I'm sure Luna would enjoy that." I felt a wave of relief hearing my husband say that. It showed he genuinely cared about our family. I had been anxious lately about whether he truly valued us, but it seemed my worries were unfounded. The next day, while dropping my daughter off at kindergarten, I shared the news with her. "What, Daddy and I can go on the hot spring trip together?" She was ecstatic, which made me happy too. When the day of my business trip arrived, it went better than anticipated. It was my first trip since having Luna, but everything went smoothly. The people I encountered were very accommodating, ensuring everything was in place for me to check. The work was so efficient that I finished by 7 p.m. that day. Since I was done, I thought I might as well head home tonight. I wasn't sure if I would stay 1 night or 2, without knowing how my work was progressing. I decided to spend the first night at a manga cafe instead of a hotel to avoid cancellation fees. If I secured a ticket, I could catch the last train home. I wanted to enjoy a peaceful evening at home if possible, so I hurried to the train and made my way back. I imagined my husband and daughter relishing a delightful meal at a hotel. The thought of my daughter's smiling face lifted my spirits. I planned to wake up early the next morning, clean the house thoroughly, and surprise them both. With that intention, I arrived home around 11 p.m. I wondered why the light was still on in the living room. Had my husband forgotten to turn it off? Frowning, I stepped inside and found my daughter curled up on the sofa, in tears. "Luna, what's the matter? Mommy, why are you crying? Where's Daddy?" My husband was nowhere to be found, and I felt a wave of distress. I immediately began bombarding Luna with questions. "Daddy left without me this morning. What's happening? What was my husband thinking?" I was infuriated by my husband's erratic actions, but calming Luna was my priority. I wrapped my arms around her tightly. "I'm really sorry. I know it was hard being alone so late." As I held her and gently ran my fingers through her hair, she gradually relaxed and started drifting off in my embrace. Worn out from fear and anxiety, carefully, I carried her to bed and returned to the living room to call my husband. "Kate, why are you calling me at this hour? Where are you?" "I'm on a trip with Luna. Why are you whispering?" "Luna is already worn out and asleep." "Oh, I understand. I'm sure she's asleep, but she's not here with me." It dawned on me that my husband had deceived me. I was on the verge of losing my composure, yet I managed to remain composed. "How's your trip going?" "It's fantastic. I could easily stay another night. The food is delicious, and the hot springs are amazing." "Then why not extend your stay for one more night?" I suggested. My husband hesitated. "But Kate, you're coming home after just one night, right? If you come home, you'll be by yourself. So Luna and I will return tomorrow." I knew precisely what he was worried about. He feared I'd find out he left our daughter alone if I got home first. So I decided to fabricate a story. "Well, I have a lot of work to catch up on, and we'll be back later than expected. I'll need to stay an extra night, so don't fret about me. Enjoy your trip for as long as you'd like." He didn't question my fabrication at all. "Really? Then I'll extend my stay for another night." Luna is so excited. I want her to have more time with her daddy since we haven't been able to spend much time together lately. "Alright, just remember to call me when you know your return date." "My daughter is excited? What are you talking about?" She was curled up and sobbing alone. I contained my fury and ended the call, determined to make him confront the repercussions of the pain he inflicted on Luna. I called my parents to explain everything. Then I hurriedly began packing my belongings and reached out to a moving company. Fortunately, I found a service that could come that very day, so I arranged for them to move my things out. My daughter looked puzzled as she watched several men coming in and taking items out of the house. "I need to speak to her." "Luna, I've decided that we're not going to stay with your dad anymore. I don't want you to feel sad anymore. I'm going to quit my job and move in with Grandma and Grandpa so I can spend more time with you. But if we go to Grandma and Grandpa's house, you won't be able to see Daddy. What do you want to do?" I knew it was a challenging question to ask a 6-year-old, but I wanted to hear her perspective. "Will I never see Daddy again?" "If you truly want to see him, I can arrange for you to visit him sometimes, but he won't be living with us anymore." I wanted my daughter to have the opportunity to see her father if she wished, even though I doubted he'd make time for her after the divorce, especially after abandoning her alone at home while he went on vacation. As I contemplated this, my daughter seemed to come to a decision. She looked directly into my eyes and said, "I'm going with you." "Mommy, Daddy probably doesn't care about me." I cried and asked him, "Why are you leaving me?" But he didn't reply and just walked away. My heart ached that he made our 6-year-old daughter feel this way just so he could go on a trip with his mistress. I viewed him as a terrible man, a neglectful father, and utterly worthless. I regretted leaving my daughter with him and going on a business trip if it meant this would happen. "Luna, I'm so sorry for making you feel this way." I embraced her tightly, and we began preparing for the move. I resolved to leave all issues with my husband behind and focus on settling in with my parents. A few hours later, my husband called. "Hey, why is all your stuff gone? And Luna's things too? What's happening? Don't you know why?" "Of course not. Luna is crying because her things are missing." "Do you really think you can keep deceiving me after everything? That's odd." "Luna is currently enjoying noodles my mother made." "What? We already know you left your 6-year-old daughter alone at home while you went on a trip with someone else. How could you do that? You're unfit to be a father. If I hadn't returned that day, you could have traumatized Luna for life." My husband was speechless. clearly caught off guard by my presence with Luna already. Anyway, you abandoned your daughter just to be with another woman. I can't stay married to you. I want a divorce. Divorce? Oh no, please reconsider. I can't. I don't want to see you ever again. While we were talking, I heard the doorbell ringing incessantly. Oh God, who could it be at a time like this? My husband sounded irritated, but I knew who it was. Looks like they've arrived. Dad and Mom. I heard my husband's voice on the phone, followed by my father-in-law yelling, "What the hell are you doing?" And then a loud commotion. Well, that's the beginning. I guessed it was the sound of him getting beaten up. My father-in-law had practiced judo for many years and was now an advisor at a university. He adored his granddaughter Luna. When I informed him of my husband's infidelity and how he left Luna alone, he was furious and vowed to teach my husband a lesson. I decided to ask him for a favor. What on earth do you think you're doing with your own daughter? I didn't raise you to be such an. I could hear my stepfather's furious voice echoing his thoughts. Even though we lived in an apartment, I was grateful we were on the first floor. If there were people living below, they might have complained, but since we'd already moved out, it didn't concern me anymore. My father-in-law really laid into my husband, both physically and mentally. After that, the divorce proceedings went smoothly. I secured full custody, and the alimony and child support were paid in one lump sum. I even managed to get alimony from the mistress. My husband attempted to remarry the mistress, but she wasn't interested in a serious relationship and left him because he took work too seriously. He's humiliated by his affair. He's been disowned by his parents, dumped by his mistress, and now his daughter is with me. He's left with nothing but his own chaos, and frankly, he deserves it. Meanwhile, I'm savoring joyful moments with my daughter at my parents' house. My parents are farmers, so I help them out. My daughter loves eating fresh produce from the farm and enjoys being surrounded by nature, fully committed to prioritizing her happiness in my life. Leaving a young daughter alone for an affair? He should have faced legal repercussions. I hope Luna isn't too heartbroken, but it feels good that my husband finally lost everything he had. Kate, I hope you and your daughter continue to be happy and find joy together. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay amazed.